Welcome to the Same Snob Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the Scene Snobs Podcast Live. You have to understand this is my third show of the day, so I am a little wired. But I'm having so much fun. I have a very special guest joining me tonight. He was on last week. He's been on a few times. He's very awesome and very knowledgeable, so I'm glad to have him on. And I'm going to bring him on in just a second. His name is Casey Plott. So make sure you're joining in on the comments. And, you can throw out topics. You can ask us questions. We can just join in the conversation and have general fun. But real quick, before we get started, I do want to push something that we are doing. I'm working with, of course, Skyline Indie Film Fest. We both do a podcast called Pulling Focus Podcast, which is a filmmaking and indie filmmaking podcast. We are doing a special screening at the Alamo Drafthouse Winchester coming up on the 21st of November at 7:30 p.m. of Galaxy Quest. Now, I don't know about you, but I love Galaxy Quest. It's one of my favorite movies. So we're going to be showing it. We're going to have, some gifts for everybody who attends. We're going to do a raffle and prizes. So please buy your tickets now. They're on sale and come and join us. But without further ado, I do want to bring on my guest because he is patiently waiting for me. Mr. Casey Plott.
What's up, everybody? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing okay, man. I'm doing okay. The country is back from the brink, I think.
Hopefully.
So I'm feeling good, but we've had some sad news this past week.
Lots of sad news.
Yeah, it just kept kind of rolling in. First, Sean Connery, 007 himself, of course, passed away. Rest in peace, Sean Connery.
Shad J.
Very true. And then, of course, his bitter rival, which passed away, not really, but in mocking wise, and Saturday Night Live, they were bitter rivals.
I like to believe they were actually bitter rivals. I think it just goes further. Plays the
so
joke.
I would never be on the show.
Exactly.
But yeah, sadly, Alex Trebek lost his battle with cancer, and we lost him this weekend. So it's pretty sad stuff. But I want to say rest in peace to their families, and we're sorry to lose such epic people, man.
Yeah.
I think that word describes both of them.
Icons.
Perfect. Yeah, 100%. But even like, you could say Jeopardy was just a game show, but it was on for so long. You got to give them an epic status.
Yeah.
How many people do you think get an epic status? Icon is 100% correct, though.
I mean, Carson. I think you could put Trebek up there with Carson.
Yes, 100%. There's no other. That's a great point. And actually, I want to expand on that a little bit if we can. There's no other, in my opinion. How do you say television personality that's probably as epic as Johnny Carson?
Yeah, he was really one of the biggest. I mean, Leno and Letterman definitely made a dent, but nowhere. Yeah. I mean, Carson he paved the way.
Yeah, and I mean, he wasn't even the first host of the
no.
show. Because like, if you go back, you can say Lucille Ball, but there's a lot of people. Like, I mean, Lucille Ball, you should say just for her. She is definitely an epic.
Well, Desilu itself. I mean, she was part of something so big. She
produced so much content. Mm-hmm. And I'm just talking about producing. I'm not even talking about what she was in.
Right.
Desilu, you're right. Like her and her husband, Ricky. One of my favorites. You got some splaining to do.
Desi Arnaz. Amazing.
Desi Arnaz. They produced definitely some epic stuff. I would put them up. But Johnny Carson, he kind of brought everyone together, for years, for like 40 years.
I mean, for 4 decades, he was also like one of the main staples for if you wanted to do stand-up, if you wanted success in you knew you made it when you were on Carson. It was it beamed to every home that was consistently on every television. Everybody watched Carson.
Yeah, and that's a great point because it's not just that everybody watched it. Like you said, the people who were on it, like they would talk about if you got invited over to the couch, you were going to get paid more at the clubs because now you were almost not royalty.
You were a made man.
Yeah, exact. That's a great way to put it. You became a made man by sitting on that couch and talking to Johnny. And that always comes to mind. One of the things that I think about is it was David Spade. I think his first time missed the cue to sit on the couch. He thought he wasn't going to. He had it in his head so much that he wasn't going to get invited on that he missed the cue and just went backstage.
Just walked away from Carson. Awesome.
Just walked away. I'm about 99% sure it was David Spade because I remember him kind of telling the story. I remember the look of David Spade, somebody telling the story on Howard Stern once. Man, can you imagine now, like being a comedian back then and having that as your thing?
But that was such a minimal thing. You only had that small option. You know, it was such a difficult uphill battle. It was a mountain. It was an Everest. I mean, that was tough back then. Whereas now you think about the options we have, the different Tonight shows. You got what, 4 or 5 of them? I guess 5 with the late shows and everything else. And well, shoot, and then Conan over on TBS. So you got a lot of shows. People choose a lot more who they're going to listen to and what they're going to watch. Back then, you had Carson.
Yep.
So it was kind of unifying because the whole nation would watch him and then discuss. And you had some common ground. You always had the funny of Carson. And I think that's an interesting thing to see being lost, especially with the loss of Alex Trebek. Shines the light on the fact that people can choose to watch whatever they want. Jeopardy is one of the last bastions of staple television.
And I'm glad you brought that back around. And the reason being, Mr. Segway, of course. The reason that you're bringing that back around and it has me thinking, Jeopardy, like you said, when it comes to game shows, now there's so many on TV now. I mean, now it seems like in a primetime slot, there's more, you know, even if you kind of count the reality shows of The Bachelor and
Dancing with the Stars, Survivor. Yeah.
They're all game shows, which stemmed, of course, from, you know, the old days. You can't really say Jeopardy, but Jeopardy was an old show. Jeopardy's been around forever. But being on Jeopardy, I remember it was a pop culture thing. It was, everybody said they were going to be on Jeopardy. And if you got on, that was a big deal. Wheel of Fortune was almost like, if you were on Wheel of Fortune, it was like, or Wheel of Fortune and Price is Right. I will give them both. Bob Barker's another one that I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And Drew Carey, I think, will make his way to be one of the last, the new class. He and Wayne Brady. Wayne Brady's done a great job with Let's Make a Deal.
But even then, they're doing a great job, and they brought him back. And I think at least Wayne Brady will go down as the host of Let's Make a Deal because nobody remembers what's his name. I can't even remember what's his name, and I watched it back.
Was that Merv? Was that a Merv or something?
I think Merv was the one who produced it.
Merv Griffin Television. Okay, right.
I want to say Richard Dawson.
No, the Kissing Man from Family Feud.
It's Family Feud, but I think he was on there too. Now I gotta look it up. You're making me do this.
Wink Martindale.
If it is, I love that name. No, because I don't know that name.
No, Wink did something else. Well, here we go. This is fantastic television.
We'll
do it live. We'll do it live.
Monty Hall. Oh, I should have known that.
We are terrible. Why are we hosting right now?
Because we're going to be epic one day. That's how this works. We have to work our way out. I mean, you think that Alex Trebek was always on Classic Concentration, which is another great game show.
Oh, another one. Good pull. Of course you did. All right.
You know why? Because I remember watching it with my grandmother when I was a kid. Now, if anybody doesn't remember Classic Concentration, it was a matching game we had to do. And then when you would match, it would show a puzzle. Like it was a picture of a B plus an I and then whatever. So, and you had to guess what it meant. So, it was a lot.
And you could win $1,000.
Oh, yeah, it was so crazy. Well, no, they always had prizes because if you remember, they had the tier. It was like this stairway, but on each stair was a car.
Yep.
And it went all the way up, and they had cars beyond it. It was huge. And they were all, you look at them now and you're like, these cars are ridiculous. Who would want to own these? But they were brand new in the 80s. But I revisited that show when we worked together at the data center.
Nice.
Because we only got 3 channels that ever came in.
Yep.
And if football didn't come on, college football on a Saturday didn't come on, they showed 6 hours of Classic Concentration. on the Game Show Network.
And,
So
and Password and Super Password.
Yeah. And so I would sit there and I'd watch Alex Trebek with like his little fro, the awesome mustache, his double-breasted suits, which he always had, and his gold bracelet, like his gaudy gold bracelet. And nobody could pull that off but him. I was like, he was just so flashy.
And that was Canadian Flash. I mean, imagine how he was up there. He was like Prince.
Well, yeah. Well, who do we compare Alex Trebek to in Canada? Is it Prince? Because you had Alan Thicke was from Canada.
Yeah, that's true. Chuck Woolery?
Ooh. I mean, I think we could do better for Alex Trebek than that. Well, Tina's in.
Ryan Reynolds.
Sexiest man alive every year. Hey, Tina. Hey, guys. Feel free to share it at IndiePods. Awesome group, by the way, and thank you for letting us do that. Hope you are well. I'm loving the show and everything you guys have been doing over there. No problem. And poor Sean. Yes, we do miss Sean Connery. And I want to ask, actually, I want to go back real quick to Sean Connery because I feel like we glossed over and went right to Alex Trebek.
Well, I mean, he is the bigger of the two.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. I'll give it to you. I will give it to you. What, in your opinion, take 007 off the table, is Sean Connery's your favorite Sean Connery role? So it doesn't have to be his best role or what people think is his best role.
Well, I like him as the like asshole private in The Longest Day. Is actually one of those this tiny roles. I think he was in maybe 5 minutes total of that movie, but he's just a jerk who's talking about running away the whole time. And it's hilarious because it's his least courageous role.
Yeah, that's legit.
But honestly, when I want Sean Connery, it's The Rock every time. It's vintage. It's classic. It's my Sean Connery. That's how I want to remember him. That's who he is to me. He was like 65 and he was crushing it. Come on.
Yeah, that's legit. That was like the sweet spot for those guys from the 70s.
Yeah.
I think the 90s, like Michael Caine, Jack Nicholson,
Kirk Douglas.
Well, Kirk Douglas was even more old school.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, like, I think Kirk Douglas was Kirk Douglas, though.
The whole time. He never stopped.
I think he settled down from being Kirk Douglas once Michael Douglas picked up and Michael Douglas was his heyday was like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
You know, The Game, I think, was like his height. Not in movies, but like if Michael Douglas walked down the street.
Popularity, yes. For pop culture icon, for being in the Inquirer or whatever, whatever made him big TMZ guy at that time, I would say, yeah, that Game was, but I also felt like that was kind of the end of his era. That was the calling. That was the peak he topped and just started.
Yeah. He was kind of, you're right. Like the 90s after that, like he went on to a whole different role.
Yeah.
But like Sean Connery and Jack Nicholson especially were two guys that I think were always known for hooking up with women and not giving a crap about anything. And I think the 90s was their mode where they were just like, I'll be in a movie every 2 years, maybe two, maybe one movie a year, something like that.
One that'll get a little block, maybe it'll get a little hype, get a little press. Like, what was the one he did with Catherine Zeta-Jones, Entrapment?
Yes,
was that it? Yeah,
I think that did better for Catherine Zeta-Jones than it did for
100%, because that was kind of Sean's like, I'm done with this. He was done action-y adventure guy. That was him wrapping it up,
Oh no, we all know when he was done. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the movie. He even said, I am retiring from this after this movie.
Yeah, that was that green screen of death.
It really was. Oh God. And it had such potential to be such a great movie.
I mean, an amazing cast. Who doesn't love the idea of Captain Nemo? That was rad.
Oh my God. It was awesome. Just the whole idea I thought was really good. I mean, because the graphic novel's awesome, but yeah, they really killed it.
It kind of showed actually where the brilliance of Guillermo del Toro making Hellboy worked, whereas League failed, because they're very similar in tone, in concept, the way they were filmed, what was going on, but it just one worked and the other one failed miserably.
Well, for me, Guillermo del Toro, he's that good of a filmmaker that whatever he does is just going to be gold.
As long as he kills kids, it's going to be great.
Well, no, that's just his thing.
That's a calling card.
I feel like he doesn't have to kill kids to be a good director, but I don't know. Maybe it's a sacrifice thing. Maybe he's like, hey, Satan, or God. I mean, at this point, the book says it. So,
no. What have we tapped into? Like, quick, shut it down. Go hide. I don't know.
Oh my God, the church is after me. Yeah. Well, hi, Christians. Have you tried Christian singles? We have to pay the bills. Could you imagine a mid-roll where I make fun of Christians and then I do a Christian singles?
I don't know how that would go over. It'd be interesting to see. Hey, you know what? It might increase numbers, or go to Farmers Only. If you really
don't go to Christian singles. Don't do it.
Don't
if you really want to go somewhere, go to Utah.
Go to Utah.
The Mormons, man. Mormons
you can get away with anything in Utah.
You can have 3 or 4 accounts and get 4 wives. 4.
Good luck, everybody.
And you can visit Sundance every once in a while.
And you'll be completely slammed on Sunday.
Oh my God, I'm going to be attacked in my sleep. I know it.
Yeah, this is going to end poorly. Thank God, no comments yet. Whichever God, I don't even know anymore.
I don't. Yeah, I know. Let's just offend them all.
I'm down.
Let's go through the Rolodex of gods and just like,
yo, Allah, cool here. Elohim, what's up? Yahweh, big up.
I'm gonna show you a picture of. She's so bad.
We've got a Krishna here, and for $14.95, you can support the Krishna Foundation. It's not going to end well. I'm sorry for that. It really
isn't, but I'm on a roll. So let's just keep going. This is a movie geek podcast.
Can't you tell?
I can't say it. I can't even bring myself to say what I was going to say. Yeah, whatever. This is going to be the one that everybody loves. It's going to be the one that goes viral. Right. Did you know dinosaurs don't exist?
Surprise. Let's just go Joe Rogan crazy. Look, the spores are going to talk to you, right? And what they're going to tell you is that before dinosaurs, there were actually people, and they hung out with the Sarlaccs, and everyone got along, man. Everything was fine until universal health care.
What's that? Oh, I was bought by Spotify? All right, guys, see you later.
Deuces.
That's how you get bought by Spotify. We're literally buying up everything podcast. I hope that's either good for me or bad for me. No,
seriously, man.
I actually don't hope that's bad for me.
Yeah,
why would you? Let's just go good for me.
Yeah, why would you put the negative on it? Come on.
What I should do is I should pull a Kramer from Seinfeld and just convince them that I work for them.
Yes.
Just by talking to them, just like, so when I haven't got my paycheck yet.
Just walk in with the wrong name tag that looks nothing like what they have, but it says Mike Spotify.
Yeah, I legally changed my name for you. Oh my God, dude, it would be so. I'm going to do it though. I'm going to convince Spotify that they have to pay me because they bought me.
Exactly.
And I'm okay with that. And then at the end of the day, if things finally blow up and it's all on fire, I'm just going to be like, there's no contracts. Bye.
I don't exist here.
Do you even work here? No.
And then classic Mike.
Shimmy out. Shimmy out of there. That's how you got to do it, man. You got to just walk in. You got to turn the lights off and just. But you can't look for the light switch. You just have to go out. And you have to feel around until you get to the wall.
Well, of course, yeah. It's way funnier when you just keep slapping. Like, I don't know where I am. Feel like a lawsuit if you're just reaching at that point. Slapping behind you, that could be terrible. HR would have a problem. Yeah.
Oh my God! But I don't work there, so it's okay.
You still go to the HR meeting like you're right. I'm sorry, Pam. I didn't realize you were there. I just was doing a thing, and it blew up in my face and on my hand. I'm sorry. I didn't.
It just becomes an epic work battle of, listen, it was a shimmy, not sexual harassment. And they have no idea what a shimmy is.
I don't even think you're that attractive. So what the hell's the problem? Really, just spin it out of control. Just let it go.
Problematic on so many levels because you just dig yourself deeper in the hole.
It's the only way it's funny.
You just become Sean Connery. Full circle.
Bingo.
Full circle. Bingo, everybody. Show's over. Spotify owns me now. So with that, I mean, we did our tribute and then we kind of went off on a crazy tangent. But I do like that The Rock is, in my opinion, if you take 007 out, even then, I mean, I like the 007 movies. He's not my favorite James Bond.
Yeah, he's definitely mine. He's definitely mine. Goldfinger was incredible. And
even Dr. No. I love Dr. No.
Mm-hmm. Dr. No is great. From Russia with Love is awesome.
Yeah, that was a great opening to it.
It's one of my favorites, yeah.
There's so many good ones. But I like, all right, I think my idea of action movies, and let me know what you think about this, but my idea of action movies has evolved over time. Like, I can't really go back. I can go to outlandish and quirky and weird action.
Commando. So we're still good on Commando. Okay. All right.
I can go back to, but I can't really revisit the Rambo movies anymore.
No, man. Honestly, is it weird that the new ones ruined the old ones for me?
No, not at all. I mean, he kind of went off on a crazy tangent there, but you know, so for me, like, I can't watch The Raid and The Raid 2 and then go back and watch James Bond and be like, yeah, these were the pinnacle of action movies. Like, they're not.
No, it's more of, I've always watched it for dating advice. So I always watch the old ones to figure out how to dress, how to talk to women, you know, just how to generally interact with people. I've gotten a lot of good stuff off of it. Roger Moore was strong. Timothy Dalton, a little edgy for me. But Sean Connery just hit that buttery smooth midsection.
You pick up a woman for the first date and like, oh, where are you taking me? The moon. That's what you took from the movie. Like,
but don't worry, your seat's in the back. Ha ha.
Women like the moon.
Yeah, right?
I'm taking you to an underwater location in my car. What? Then you turn more into Dexter than you do into suave James Bond.
Well, I had a real problem trying to pull my car out of the lake. I didn't realize that they weren't all like that. Boy, high school was tough, man.
Oh, God. You learn to do that before Parallel Park.
Exactly.
Wah, wah.
I always tried to look for the propeller in the trunk. I didn't find it. I didn't get it.
Well, you grew up in Connecticut, so like you don't really need a propeller in the trunk. You don't really need parallel parking. It's just kind of like
just stay away from cows. Cows are a problem. Snow. You know, that's.
I will tell you this: after living in Los Angeles, I have made it my point. I made it a point that I will never live. I'm not saying I'll never do it again, but I will. And I'm a good parallel parker, but
really good driver.
I will never live in a place where I have to parallel park to go into my house. Never, ever, ever. And I try to avoid going places where I may have to parallel park because it's just like, again, I'm good at it. I just don't want to do it. I don't like to look behind me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you can't look back. That's why I rip all my rearview mirrors off.
That's still the best line. Oh my God. I love that line. My favorite line that I've just heard though now is oh my God. I just posted it the other day. I can't help but laugh at it. And I heard it on DuckTales of all places.
Marvelous.
It was so amazing because he's just like, how am I going to get into heaven when legends live forever? And it was Dewey saying it. And I was just like, and he is, oh my God. I was just like, this is the best line of all time. I'm using it. I was like, how did I never think of this?
Yeah, seriously, man. You've got some legendary lines, bro. That should be in your repertoire.
I went to Catholic school. Do you know how much I would have said that line to the nuns?
Well, you can go back. I don't know how many are still alive, but it could be fun.
None. That school doesn't even exist anymore.
Nuns?
None nuns. They don't exist. None nuns.
They're just all in your imagination.
Dude, I don't know what's happening tonight. Usually I have way more comments than this, but I don't even care because I'm just having fun.
Yeah, this is a good time, man. This is fantastic. I mean, I'm uncomfortable because I just realized that this being a geek show, I have to honor it somehow. So I'm rocking the Pitfall shirt. So that's safe. But I also have a J.J. Abrams lens flare going off of the top of my head. So that's, I got to work on that. That's fun.
Too. And I got my light back there. I need backlight, though. That's why I do it.
Yeah.
Because if this light washes me out if I don't have backlight.
Fair.
All right, I'm going to give you a little lighting lesson. A lighting lesson-roo here.
101.
Here. I got to get like a diffusion or something. I got to put like red satin scarf over and just be like, hey, ladies, I'm married.
Good evening. Don't you like seeing all this that you'll never get?
I'm hoping that my Thanksgiving Day special, which is an overnight special.
I am so excited for that, buddy. This is going to be awesome.
If you were watching and you don't join in, I'm going to punch you.
No, I was going to join in. I thought we discussed it already. I'm stoked to join in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Yeah. Because I'm literally just going to be online. And I imagine by 4 a.m. and coffee number 732, I'm either going to be newsman in the 50s during the chaos era. Like something chaotic happened and they're just like got their sleeves rolled up and their ties all undone and just like, well, we're back again. And there's just coffee and cigarettes everywhere.
This storm is going crazy. It's everywhere.
It's taking us all out. Or I'm going to be wearing like a smoker's jacket and like satin pajamas. And I'm just going to be like, what's up, ladies? Welcome to Mick after midnight.
Yes, please let that be like the hour, just like you go do costume changes. I'll pop in to help take that time, alleviate your costume change.
I absolutely should. It should be a series of shows all night long from 11 a.m. to 7 or 8 a.m., whatever I said. I haven't decided yet. I'm just going to, like, every show is going to be different. Listen to talk show.
Every hour have a Wendy Williams occur.
Man, that woman is bad shit. Yeah. The eyes, man. The eyes don't fool you.
And it was so weird because she was so normal before her show.
I don't know. She went through some stuff. I feel bad for her.
No, that is fair. She's been through some stuff, and I get it. But I also kind of understand when you have that many people coming out and saying, hey, you need to kind of calm down because this persona you're playing is taking over who you are.
Yeah. I think it's Hollywood, man.
Of course it is.
I think it's Hollywood pumping these talented people filled with stuff. And I know I'm going off on a conspiracy theory, and those are like the worst for me. But I'm going to do it. Because if I'm here for any reason, it's to talk about Hollywood conspiracy theories.
Well, there's our new show, 102.
Well, have you ever heard about the great opioid epidemic of 1912?
My goodness, I have not.
Only at MGM Studios. And I don't doubt that. They murdered people at parties.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why everyone loved morphine. You just get in liquid form and just boop for the housewives, while they're doing dishes.
I think that was there was a TV show called Hollywood. It was a Ryan Murphy show that came out on Netflix. And I was so intrigued by it because I love film noir, as you know. Mm-hmm. I especially love film noir that took place in the 40s. 50s as well, but like the 40s was like the moment for those detective stories.
Philip Marlowe stories, man. Come on.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the 20s and 30s were good too, but like, I don't know. It's just the 40s were just right. Because I think everything was just dark from the war.
The way it was shot too, it was just the upgraded film, the fact that we didn't have as much as the Tony Talk Town anymore. No one had to discuss like this. So.
Yeah, I was like, man, shady.
Yeah, we got Bugsy.
But yeah, so like when I watch I have such high hopes for movies or shows that come out and they're like detective stories in the 40s era. I love LA Confidential, which I know is 50s. Shut up, people.
Same era, whatever. It's post-war.
Yeah, like that time. And I like 50s too. But if it's set in the 40s, like I'm really enthusiastic for it. Black Dahlia kind of let me down. There was but like that. Before I go on, because I'm kind of losing the point of all this and like where we were going. So those 40s movies, for me, like I think if you're going to write something, set it in the 40s. If you're going to write a detective story, and somebody do it right, somebody do a good one, please.
Because, and I think we lost an opportunity for Sean Connery to be an awesome bad guy in a film noir.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No. Outland. It may be a space movie, but that is definitely a noir type movie.
Okay.
He's investigating murder.
Yeah.
The coal miner movie. You know, it takes the film noir a little bit out of like it's. But it was the 80s, so that was forgivable.
I mean, the 80s also considered, what is it, a Total Recall kind of a noir movie, and that was more of a detective thingy. I don't know. There was a lot of clone movies in the 90s. Everyone got confused.
I just think they didn't know how to write the sci-fi movies. They were so good, but they didn't know how to. They wanted to like turn them into detective movies, but it just didn't work.
Yeah,
because you can't have Arnold Schwarzenegger playing like Philip Marlowe. It just doesn't work.
No, it didn't. And Michael Ironside is your perfect bad guy. They had the setup. Sharon Stone was a fantastic villainess.
Oh, you know what? Think about this. All right, let me throw something at you. Let me know what you think. Would you consider, and tread lightly here, Highlander 2 a film noir?
Yes.
Look, it's got the look.
It has to be considered something. So I'm going to go with film noir other than terrible movie. So out of the two, yes.
I love that the only reason they did that is so that way they could do a movie again.
Yep.
And Sean Connery was in just because he wanted to work with him.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, how brilliant is that? Come on. That's ideal.
It cracks me up every time I think about it because it's just so beautiful. But for me, I think that works for Sean Connery, like a film noir-esque. Again, and I'm talking the look.
And also, I get it. And if I have to return back to an earlier question about what's the most Sean Connery-esque movie, it's not the most Sean Connery-esque from the standard perspective. Mm-hmm. I actually think Highlander, because it was him truly not giving a shit and just doing Sean Connery.
Playing
probably
Spaniard named Ramirez.
Bingo. It couldn't be more Sean Connery showing his range of Sean Connery-ness.
Yeah, an Egyptian Spaniard named Ramirez with a Scottish accent.
And don't forget a Japanese katana.
Who went, yeah, absolutely. That I chalk up to like he's immortal.
No, of course. And I get it too. And I could understand if he'd stayed in the Highlands for like 40 years.
But that was like his first time going to the Highlands.
Right. He just showed up and got the accent. Is that a superpower?
To talk to a character who had a really terrible Scottish accent. Oh my God.
Dude, I don't even know. Was Lambert, is he Belgium, like Flemish? He's just got that weird accent that means nothing. Is he American? He can't be.
I think he's French. I think he's a French actor.
Maybe French-Canadian. Because they're all,
possible.
Yeah.
I'm going to look it up because American-French actor. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, I guess he was born in France.
Well, and then you have the dude who Adrian.
No, I'm sorry. He was born in Great Neck, New York. What? What is happening? Why is this happening?
Yeah. Yeah. So he did a little Mini Driver action, huh? That's Oh
my God, that's so bad. So we're going off on a tangent of Sean Connery.
Shocking. That's what we do.
It is. So for me, God. Oh my God, how are we forgetting? Well, it's actually not really a film noir as it is like a pulp detective story. Untouchables. Oh
yeah. I mean, that's that's one of my favorite movies for many reasons. Yeah. But I always forget Sean Connery's major highlight in that.
Yep.
Just like a whoop to bring a knife to a gunfight.
Dude, when he's roughhousing Elliot.
What are you willing to do? Yeah.
He was good in that. I think he and De Niro brought a level of prestige to that because Costner was not there yet.
Costner was actually the perfect milk toast in that because Elliot Ness was milk toast.
Yeah. Oh, did I ever tell you about the script that was going around? And it's a true story. It's got to be like 10 or 11, 12 years ago. I never signed an NDA, so I don't care. It was a script called Torso.
Okay.
Nobody steal this because it actually exists and I'm sure it's registered. I don't know why they never made it, but I had a friend who was doing script reading and he told me the whole story and I thought it was genius. And then I looked it up and it's a really interesting story. So in Cleveland, there was I think it was like the 40s or 50s. This was later in life. This is after he had his run-in with the Untouchables and not a run-in, but he was doing the Untouchables thing and his run-in with Al Capone. He was, it was Cleveland. He took over as like the police commissioner or something, Elliot Ness.
Mm-hmm.
And there was somebody murdering people and just leaving torsos. And it was like a legit, like they were murdering homeless people. Or no, they weren't murdering homeless people. They're murdering women in houses or something. I forget. I have to look at it again. This is a long time ago since I was told and I read about it. So I am very much, for anybody listening right now, not the foremost authority on this. So there was a serial killer going around, and it was killing people and like leaving their torsos out for police to find. And it was like an epic thing going on in that town, like drastic. And they were trying. I forget what happened. Like there's so much pressure Ness was under to find the killer. They wound up like, I guess, pinning it on a homeless person. And it's a very crazy tale. You should definitely check it out. They were going to make it into a movie and it was going to be called Torso. And at the time they were like strongly going after Matt Damon to play the Elliot Ness character.
He was probably right after the Adjustment Bureau when he nailed that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This was like after he was older.
Mm-hmm.
So like at that time, so you figure it's like 10 or 12 years ago. I want to say Matt Damon was probably in that sweet spot, like in his late 30s or something.
Mm-hmm.
He can pull it off.
Just finishing Bourne series and looking studly and whatnot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Still looks studly.
Of course.
I love that man. I want to own a zoo with him.
Who doesn't?
I want to own a zoo with him and Scarlett Johansson, but I just want Scarlett Johansson to take care of the animals.
Well, yeah, of course. She's better at it.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's why I want her there.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now. It's just like, come on. Matt Damon. No, Matt Damon. Just hang out. Let's sit on the couch and watch movies. And
Jimmy Kimmel randomly shows up. Just you guys get into fights all the time.
Oh, I will beat Jimmy Kimmel up. Messes with my Matt Damon.
I'll bring my buddy Ben Affleck. We'll come over and hang out.
Oh, that's Batman. I don't know if I'd mess with Batman.
No, he's not really Batman. He's drunk.
I know he's Batman. I saw Justice League, and he did not keep his mask on the entire time.
So I know it's him.
I know it. I know he's Batman. And then he gave up, and Twilight took over. That is so not fair to Robert Pattinson, who is a good actor.
He's a good actor, and I always have to remember that to give him that credit because I'm like, I just hate Twilight so much. I don't understand it. Like I tried to read the first book. I couldn't be a 16-year-old girl. I couldn't put myself in those shoes, and I thought this is clearly me. And I tried to read the second book and realized, no, she's a terrible author. And then the actual, the movies themselves were just stares.
So to me, and I have actually viciously been attacked on Twitter for this. I think Kristen Stewart is a terrible actress.
Easy.
You name me one.
In the Land of Women. Adventureland.
No. She didn't. That was Meg Ryan. Meg Ryan.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, look, she was good. Meg Ryan was good. But Kristen Stewart.
Meg Ryan's darling.
She played in the cut. I feel you, brother. Real darling.
No.
So
Go Burst the Volcano. Harry Met Sally.
Yeah. I get it. In the cut.
She's the only actress I will literally get mad at you about for saying, no, she was great in her only nude scene. Like, no, that is Meg Ryan. That's America's sweetheart.
Courage Under Fire. I get it. She was fantastic. I love her in that story.
All right. You know what?
What? I like that movie. I love that movie. And Matt Damon's in that movie.
It's a bad Matt Damon movie.
Why? Because he plays a pillhead and he's like 20 pounds?
He is 20 pounds in that movie.
That was like right after School Ties. I mean, he went from being a pretty studly young lad to.
I have a friend who played his brother in a movie.
Matthew Lillard.
Shut up. He was a friend too at one point. You're such a jerk. Everybody picks on me. No, I'm not talking to you about this anymore. Where are we going?
What else are we going to talk about? Because I'm
we're on
at
a
this
podcast.
point.
I'm not talking about this. Talk about something else.
I don't want to discuss with you anymore, sir.
Our segues are we just get mad about the topic.
Move to a new topic.
On to the next.
So what else is on the board? Jack Burton, life advice or serial killer?
A little bit from column A and a little bit from column B. He was an inept killer, so there's no way he's a serial killer.
I didn't say he had to be a good one.
He would never be out on the road still. He's the sidekick. He's the best sidekick of all time.
Yeah, Wang was amazing.
Yeah, Wang was definitely the hero.
Yeah.
He and Mick are 100% get it.
And he got the girl in the end.
No, he didn't, because he's a Connery and Nicholson level man.
No, Wang did.
Oh yeah, no. Well,
Jack rolled out.
Yeah, but that's all right. So Jack is the Connery and
right. Alec Baldwin level.
Man, it's making me think. Now I'm thinking about other roles, because now I'm thinking about Connery and Connery in The Rock was not the star. He was not the hero.
Nope.
So
Nick Cage was, obviously. You're best. Losers whine about doing their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
We don't curse on this.
Sorry.
That
was a quote.
It's so funny how your eyebrows went up so high. It's so great. I loved it. I don't care.
They jumped.
It's 9:41 at night. There's no kids watching.
That's fair. And if they are, what is going on?
Even if you're listening tomorrow, I'm sorry. So I have no idea what we're talking about. I'm going off on a limb. This is what I get for doing 3 shows in one day and not being prepared.
What are you talking about being prepared? This is wonderful. We have so many other things to discuss. Like things have finally started to get back to filming since COVID protocols.
What is filming? I forgot.
Well, it's only going to happen for another couple weeks before they shut down for COVID protocols.
Yeah, especially, with all these people, with all the celebrating in the streets and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys. I'm happy too, but maybe stay home.
I mean, it depends on what dance you're going to do. You can go outside and just have a quick 20-minute little foray and just be done. That's what I did.
Remember 6 months ago when it was everybody just out their windows dancing? Mm-hmm. And now it's like literally everybody in the streets like huddled together.
When it's the worst time for it, when it's cold, when people are getting sicker, when the spread is obviously happening more. And it's like, no, just care less.
I know. I just, oh my God, man. And we're going to lose everything again. Because look, Maryland is like restrictive again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of places have to turn. I mean, well, the Dakotas don't care. They're just letting it happen. Because honestly, all 75 people up there are like, bleh.
Listen, I don't want anybody to die. What I'm saying is, if people are not responsible and something happens in North Dakota and South Dakota, and all of them happen to go, I say we give that land back to the Native Americans.
Yeah, because that's where the tremors are.
Are they up there?
I'm pretty sure.
No, Nevada was where perfection was.
Is that what they told you, Mike?
Yeah, because I don't know. I got me confused. I'm pretty sure.
Just like Wyoming is a state and not just a place where they hit you with a Men in Black taser and they tell you what a great time you had. Meanwhile, they test you.
Are you trying to convince me that I'm wrong?
No, never.
I'm so confused. I will just go along with what you said. You're right. Tremors did take place on Mount Rushmore.
Well, the Shriekers might have.
I haven't seen a new one yet.
Neither have I.
It's so crazy. I can't wait to watch it, though. Those are some great movies. So, yes, you are right. A lot of things are getting back down to it. And Jurassic World Dominion just finished. Mm-hmm. After they did 40,000 COVID tests throughout.
Crazy.
40,000 COVID tests.
To keep one production up. To keep one production. Really?
Yeah, they had an outbreak back in July.
Oh, wow.
When they went back to it. It was shut down for like 20 days. Yeah, it's so crazy. But they can't get the Batman to work.
Oh, yeah, I am excited for it. I think Pattinson will be great. I think he'll do a wonderful job. He's an actor, so he has chops. You know,
that leads me to a good question. I want to know what you think. Is there a character that you're getting tired of because they keep making movies about him?
I'm going to say this, and it's going to be so unpopular. I might just be like kicked off the internet somehow magically, but I'm kind of tired of James Bond movies.
Ooh, I know they need to finish this one out.
No, look, they need to finish it, and I'm fine with that. But after Daniel Craig, what are we doing? Yeah. There's cooler stories to follow. You know, give me anything with Idris Elba. Give me more Luther.
Oh my God, Luther's such a great show. I don't mind James Bond. I don't care how you want. Like Elba would be great as James Bond. I don't care who plays James Bond. I don't care if it's a woman. You can do the James Bond movies and make them fresh and make them work. I think every Daniel Craig James Bond works. The problem is there's 5 years between them. And you get tired by the time you get to the next one because you're like, I just don't care.
That was after Skyfall. I just didn't care about Spectre because I was like, it's been like 4 years. I remember back in the day, even the Brosnan ones came out a little bit closer together. That's why I didn't care about Die Another Day because it was 4 years later, 5 years later.
Well, so that was the crazy thing. Like, yeah, back in the 60s, you had like 7, and they were pumping them out like they were Friday the 13th movies.
It was like every year. Every 2 years, it was just flowing. Even in the 80s, man. Like I was doing a look through to see who had done what. And I was like, holy crap. I mean, Roger Moore did 9 James Bond movies, and they were all in the 70s and 80s.
And think about that. Now, and it comes down to, I understand that it comes down to, special effects and the actor's timing and things like that. But honestly, if it takes you 4 or 5 years to get to the next movie, there's a problem. And here's another case in point. Godzilla. Godzilla, since the 50s, has been pumped out to tons of movies. There's a huge franchise. But the American versions that they started in 2013, 2014?
Yeah, the Bryan Cranston one?
Yep. And then they did the King Kong, or the Kong movie, which I like them all. But it's every 3-4 years that they come out, and I'm like, I get COVID. I get the Godzilla versus King Kong, but that is not the same for the other 3 movies. So for me, I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. I understand special effects, but why can we get a Marvel movie with all the special effects every year? Every year. I don't care if it's the same director on a Godzilla movie. It can be the same writer. Okay, we just filmed, or we're just getting ready to film. Start writing the sequel. If we have an idea, and that's because Marvel is planned and they do.
Pacific Rim move faster than some of these other giant franchises that have buku bucks.
But even Pacific Rim got to a point where it was so long, I didn't care. And I was just like, I don't care about the sequel. And I like John Boyega. I'm glad he took over and such. But I'm like, I don't care too much because it's just you took too much time.
Well, in a lot of the stories, I really don't like when they say this is the only way we can do things, except the last time when we did it different, and this time when we'll change it again. And they just kept playing that game, and I was like, nah, I'm good.
Well, think about this. Godzilla. So they made, it was either 2012 or 2014 they made the first one. I think in 2016 they made Kong.
Then Skull Island, yeah.
2018 or 2019 they made the new Godzilla. In that time, Japan has made 6 Godzilla movies and shows and stuff like that. And they're good. They're good. Go watch Shin Godzilla, which came out a while back. Go watch. It's probably better than anything else you're going to get in terms of Godzilla.
So why do we keep making them? Are they making money? Is there a draw for it enough to see the American version when there's obviously better versions already out there?
it's such a weird thing to me. I don't know how. I think Marvel changed things in such a way that it's like everybody wants their franchise, and everybody's trying to bank on that franchise, like properties they own, stuff like that. Of course, you have DC over Warner Brothers, which isn't living up to it.
Please, come on.
They're not following the formula. At least like Marvel was like, even like Disney's not following the formula because they screwed up Star Wars. They had a bona fide, here we go. Star Wars has a built-in fan base that, yeah, they'll bitch, but they'll go see it.
They will always see it. They might see it 3 times just to bitch more about it.
Yep. And by the last one, those numbers weren't as high. And people were just like, yeah, I'm not going to see this again. They just didn't like it.
Same thing with Star Trek waiting too long. Beyond was timed just at the end of that. Okay, I'm still into it. You know, I loved Into Darkness enough. Beyond is now a new adventure, and they did that well. Yeah. But then the timing for a 4th, just of course the studio would shut it down. It's been way too long.
Well, Star Trek, I think the reason all of the movies worked was because you always had a show on. Mm-hmm. As soon as TNG came into play. That was what? When
87.
That was 87. But when was what was the 5th movie? I think the 5th movie
was 80. I think it was 86. Same time. I'm almost same year. I think. Yeah, because Undiscovered Country 6 was like a year after TNG started, maybe 88. So 89.
Worf was in that too while he was on TNG. So you have these movies that are concurrent with the shows, and by that time you had 4 shows in the span of like 15 years. Mm-hmm. So there was always something Star Trek going on. They started, and then you didn't have anything. So I think that's why JJ's Star Trek worked.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have any Star Trek right now.
And it's the idea of it's still your characters you love, but we can place them in a new universe and a new timeline so you can appreciate a new crowd can learn about these characters and love these characters.
So, it's funny to me that we're talking about this because, and I do want to continue the franchise talk, but I had a very long conversation about DS9 and why Picard and company were not a part of the Dominion War. Because for me, it's like, even if you take the idea that the Enterprise E wasn't built yet and the D is gone, there's no way some of them are not going to command ships.
Here's the other thing. Why wouldn't you take your strongest group of attaches, of able to get themselves out of sticky situations? You don't throw them in the middle of the fray. You take them and go build your allies into the Romulans. You take them who's already been a part of these other trials and tribulations with other sects of people, and you send them off to go build that reinforcement camp so you make sure you have more troops coming to the front.
Yep. Yeah, even if they are handling it diplomatically. But Riker's not staying on the Enterprise. He's not staying waiting for Enterprise E. Mm-mm. They're going to say, dude, we told you can have your ship this many times, and you said no. Now it's wartime, buddy. Get on a ship. Because we are a military faction and you can lead. Data, you can lead. Worf, I get. Worf was there. Worf was like right in the middle of it. So they're going to keep him on DS9 because he knows DS9. Mm-hmm. And he can command the Defiant when Cisco isn't. Mm-hmm. So all of that. But like, you're going to tell me, like, Geordi, I get. Maybe you're not going to put Geordi as a commander of a ship, but you're going to make sure that he's on a ship.
Geordi's probably working on the Sovereign Class E build, so that way he can know its guts, its internals, using a lot of the stuff that they retrofitted on D and being able to add it to E now and move forward.
That's okay. So then that gives also an out for why Data's not there.
Exactly.
But Picard doesn't need to be there, and Picard is a seasoned guy who has dealt with the Cardassians before. You get him back out there.
I don't know if you put him against the Cardassians, though. I really think Picard's strength is getting the Romulans, because remember how much trouble they went through in DS9 trying to get the Romulans to come on board. Yep. So really one of the few people they respect, both as a diplomat and a tactician, is Picard. So you're sending him in Troy no matter what.
Okay, but Riker is on a ship. I don't care what anybody.
Oh, Riker's on a ship. Yeah, no, he's on a ship somewhere. He's got to be. That's the only reason he got the Titan was because he went through all the battles during Dominion War. Maybe even on a flagship, kind of like Cisco was working with the Admiral. Riker might have had a position like that with Admiral Nanchez or something like that.
And Crusher, it has to be out there. She's on a medical convoy.
I still think Crusher's actually back at Starfleet. Whenever she's not out there, she's one of the top doctors in Starfleet. She's back at Starfleet.
Yeah, I guess.
Whether HQ or the whatever you call the Academy, somewhere, because she's got too much freaking knowledge, man. She's too good.
Who's a better doctor, Bashir or Crusher? Because Bashir's genetically altered.
Mm-hmm. I think that's an interesting question. I think Bashir, because of the genetic altering, he has more knowledge and capability. And he's probably better in a pinch. I mean, we've seen him do a lot of good stuff. He MacGyvers people with his magic tools that manage to work, but that's about it. He always figures out a way. But Crusher is very, very, very good when it comes to synthesizing vaccines that have never been seen before. I mean, she's grabbing Romulan blood after no one ever seen a Romulan before, and she's helping him stay alive.
Yeah.
But so it's unfair to sit there and put the two side by side because you have a very different skill set between the two.
But even more reason because the war is right there, and DS9 and Bajor is such a huge. I don't want to say tactical, but a huge
strategic point.
Strategic point. Yeah, that's great. That's a great way to put it. That's the right way to put it. So it's not a great way; it's the right way. So I think Bev is going to be there working with Bashir or setting up a hospital on Bajor.
See, and I think on the other side of that, I think Bashir is actually going to be the one doing that triage, doing that work, and basically being on the grounds helping, whereas you have someone like Crusher who can pump out 50 more medics every 3 months. So you're launching her just training, so you can get more field medics. And then you have one or two of them follow Bashir, which did happen in DS9, and they learned. And then they move on to another stuff. Okay. Or get burned by a phaser.
Okay, so riddle me this, Batman. Who is the most problematic? Riker or Bashir?
Bashir, because of his genetic enhancements, because there are so many laws against him and so many rules against him in the Starfleet code, it becomes very problematic. I think that's really hard. And we see him having to deal with it multiple times. And even the look on Cisco's face, like Cisco was hurt and angry when he finds out. He's like, this is not okay. This is illegal as shit.
They do such a good job with that. Because it was one of those things, it was almost seamless. Mm-hmm. Because it was out of nowhere. It was just that episode where they're just like, this exists and this is what it is. And you're like, okay, I've seen him get beat up before though. So, but whatever, I'll forgive it so that tells me clearly you had no idea that you were going to go in this direction. Mm-hmm. And then you decided to, and that works, but it was very seamless because then after that, in every episode, they mentioned genetic enhancement.
Well, yeah. I mean, how many times does he have to constantly be mentioned to stand back when shooting darts with O'Brien? Always has to take a step back. Like the one time, I mean, that happens like in 4 different episodes.
So, oh my God. We can go on about Star Trek all day long, though.
Sir Balinwick, bro.
I do want to go back to the franchise topic. So,
yes.
Because we were talking about.
What are you tired of?
Who am I? And actually from where it stems, I'm kind of tired of Batman.
That's huge from you.
I know. It's yeah, absolutely. Like I'll take more Superman movies because they weren't done right. Like we did get some good Batman movies. So like for the bad ones, I still think that it's balanced in a way that we had better Batman representation on screen than we did bad.
Agreed. I mean, we have 2 Keatons, which he's Batman. You have Val Kilmer, who was a really crappy Bruce Wayne, but a decent Batman. And then you have George Clooney, who was just a crappy Batman, but an awesome Bruce Wayne. And then you have Christian Bale, who was such a great universe. They did such a good job in 3 movies of building a fantastical universe that was closer to just dark, weird, awkward drugs. That was kind of the thing. Everyone was on drugs.
So I think if you just take those movies and like even the Ben Affleck, I liked Ben Affleck's Batman. I didn't like
all 5 minutes of it.
Yeah, to take that mask off a lot.
No, man. Honestly, when he ran out of bullets and his game was over, that was the most infuriating thing I've ever seen, and I will never forgive his Batman for that. I don't care who wrote it. I don't care who directed it. I don't give a crap.
Well,
He's the one who sat there and his lip quivered when he ran out of bullets.
No. Remember?
Oh, I'm sorry. When Superman showed up.
He gave like a little like little lip quiver, like, oh my god, Superman! Like, what? You were trying to kill this dude in the last movie.
Exactly.
I didn't mind him though. Listen, Justice League should just be thrown out. It's hot garbage. Yep. But yeah, I mean, so if it's not Batman, which I mean, and I don't want Batman gone forever. I just think
he needs a break.
Just take a break from him. But there's two others, and you're not going to be happy about this. Now, mind you, I'm talking about movies. If you want to do another Batman animated show to tide us over until the next Batman movie, I'm in.
Give me 10,000 Kevin Conroy show episodes. I'm in. Yeah. Oh,
good.
All day.
So, like, I'm not saying that Batman has to be completely thrown into the shadows. I'm just saying I wouldn't mind taking a little bit of a break from him in the movie universe. Just because he's just, especially considering you can't find an actor to play him for more than like a movie or two. And it's like, it's Batman, like even Connery played 007 for like 7 movies. He even played him in a movie where it wasn't a part of the universe. Like, so like you have a lot. So like, I feel like you can find an actor to do it, and it doesn't have to be a big name star. I don't think, with all of the trouble we've had with the Batman, I don't see Robert Pattinson staying around too long. Not saying that it won't do well or that it won't be good, but I just need kind of a break.
I'm excited it's the Riddler, but I'm also at the point where the only thing I've liked of Batman recently is the Rogues Gallery. And the fact that they have a Suicide Squad Harley Quinn thing going is fantastic. I'm great with it. Let's keep going with Harley. It's really cool. I'm having a blast.
I'm fine with that. I don't care if you take all the side characters, because DC has a lot of side characters, then I'd be fine with them making movies about.
Kite Man.
Not that side.
Oh.
I'm talking like, I'll take a Green Arrow movie. Something like that. I want a Supergirl movie. Like the show's fine or whatever. It's going away now, but
yeah.
Well, actually, I shouldn't say the show's fine. Like I like the first season, so that was
agreed.
But for me, like Batman, if he took a break, I wouldn't be upset. But there's 2 other franchises. One I think needs a hard break, and we can continue in TV shows. I'd be completely fine with it, and then we can get into what I'm going to say. But I'm going to start with the other one first, which I think just needs to go away. Pirates of the Caribbean needs to go away.
Agreed.
It has not gotten better.
Nope.
Keep making them. They forgot all the reasons that the first 3 were good.
I was going to say it should stop to 3.
Yeah, and that was a nice tight-knit story. You didn't need any more. But now, and I was okay with them making more until I saw them, and I'm like, and now you're just like, no, Johnny Depp's never going to be a part of it again. And you're like, well, he was literally the best part about the bad ones. And one of the best parts about the good ones. Not the best part, but one of them.
Agreed.
So if he's the best part about the bad ones and now he has nothing to do with them, I don't care.
I mean, Jeffrey Rush wasn't really helping there at the end. He was kind of dragging. I did love his character in the first 3, but everything just dragged by the end. It was
because they shoehorned him in.
Yeah.
I get that you want to follow Jack, but he's not going to, or Bose is not going to be there for everything.
Norrington isn't always going to just show up randomly drunk in a bar. Like it's.
Yeah, they need to kill that off. They need to get rid of it for, maybe a while, maybe do a reboot it in like 10 years or so, but like just let it go for a while.
Just
other stuff.
Make a whole new plan for Pirates of the Caribbean. Why did those have to be the only pirates? Weren't there a bunch of pirates?
Why does it have to be Pirates of the Caribbean? Just like, don't do that. Don't do that Disney part. Other people do pirate movies. I don't know.
Well, they should do like a Genghis Khan movie. That would be way more fun and uplifting, but like a family style one.
It's 100% a family style one, considering like 90% of the people on this earth are related to him.
Yeah, see? Exactly. Find out who your first cousin was, or 27th cousin, whichever, you know?
We're all related. Genghis Khan made it so. But the other one you're going to get mad at me about. But I think the movies need to go away for a while. I'm fatigued. I need a break. And that's Star Wars.
You know, I 100% am not even a little bit. It's really weird that you bring this up, because I had the same sense the other day as I was going through, and I was like, wow, Rogue One was the last great one, and I was really into it. And I love what they're doing with Mandalorian. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And Solo was cool. And then I just, like, as I'm even saying the words, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm a little tired. I think I kind of waxed. I'm done. Like, you know, they killed a lot of characters. We dealt with Carrie Fisher's death.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of things happened, man. I think, didn't Mayhew die during this whole process? I mean, there's been a lot that it's too much, man. And now 2020, on top of everything, just being 2020, they just need a big break from a lot of stuff. And Star Wars is unfortunately one of those. Mandalorian can maintain. I'm cool with it. If they gave me a Lando Calrissian story, it's about the only thing I'd follow right now outside of that.
Yeah, but just do a TV show.
Yeah.
Mandalorian's doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I just need a break. I need a break from Star Wars movies. I think for me, whereas this all started with James Bond doesn't work and Godzilla, the American version of Godzilla, doesn't work because they're too spaced out.
Mm-hmm.
They killed Star Wars for me because there was one every year.
It was such the money grab. And the problem is, by the time they reached Solo, they stopped having a soul or kind of that same spirit. Lando was the only part of Solo that truly, after rewatching, sticks it out. He gives you that, you know, or the relationship with Woody Harrelson, the fact that he lost the only woman he wanted to be with. So he's only out for himself. Mm-hmm. Those parts are the only parts that hold up. Even the relationship between Han and Chewie, you're supposed to love that. And that's about as milquetoast as it comes.
I know. Yeah, they really kind of screwed that one up too.
Screwed up is hard. They just could have done more. And it was such it felt hurried.
Yeah. But everything just felt problematic too, because even with that one, like, remember, I think it was the Lord brothers who were supposed to direct it, and then they got fired because of creative differences or quit or whatever. And then what's his name took over? Ron Howard took over, and I like Ron Howard, but watch a Ron Howard movie.
Apollo 13.
That ain't Solo.
No, it is not.
Apollo 13 works. I mean, one of my favorite movies of all time, The Paper, is a Ron Howard movie.
Oh, great movie.
And he does so good with his movies, but then you give him, you know who would have killed it? His daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Her episode of Mandalorian was great.
Bryce Dallas Howard's amazing, man. So good.
And I guess she's busy with Jurassic Park. No, those are movies, that franchise, I don't care. Keep it going.
Oh, Jurassic can go forever, but in the same way Godzilla can. That, yes, we can say we're bored of whatever they're trying to do, but we'll keep watching the Godzilla movies that come out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go spend money in the theater anymore. I've learned that lesson.
Speaking of which, we're showing Galaxy Quest on the 21st.
That movie I will watch 1,000,000 times, especially after watching the behind-the-scenes stuff. The way they all loved each other in that funny way, and Alan Rickman legitimately hated Tim Allen. Come on. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and it was so well played. I'm just going to put up the info so everybody knows. Go buy tickets now. But, yeah, we are showing Galaxy Quest because it is such a good movie.
It's a fantastic movie.
They just do such a beautiful job with it. Sigourney Weaver plays a great...
Vapid player?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I'm trying to think. Is she more trying to be Nichelle Nichols, or is she trying to be number one, Margot Barrett?
That's a weird amalgamation, man. I'd say it's number one. It's tied up with maybe Aaron Gray from Buck Rogers. Like, I see some of that in there.
Like sexy arm candy for the show.
Right.
I mean, they parodied it well. Don't get me wrong. They parodied it very well. But, like, I don't want to compare it to Nichelle Nichols because Uhura did her job.
That's why I always go back to Aaron Gray, because she had that little jumpsuit zip down and I mean, who else was on Battlestar Galactica? Was it Adama's daughter or something like that?
I
God,
don't remember.
I think I have to turn in my geek card. That's a problem. I should know that.
It's Tuesday night. We just went through the ringer with this election. I don't think any of us ever needs to know anything again.
No.
That's it. We just quit.
And that's it. We're just going to stare at each other because we no longer acquire knowledge.
No, I'm looking it up. I just can't remember who played the daughter in that show. I remember there's many different.
There's like always an attaché character, always that kind of side piece character, and Sigourney Weaver played it perfectly.
Yeah, she did such a good job on it. So for me, I'm very excited to be showing that movie. So anybody who wants to buy tickets are on sale now. So join us; it'll be fun. But anyway, going back to franchises. So Star Wars, I think we can both agree on. We just need a break.
Yeah.
When you have,
Marvel took a great break, and I remember you coming out a few years ago mentioning that to us on a different show many moons ago, and I was blown away. I was like, "How could you say that? How dare you?"
Yes.
And now after having the break, I'm like, "Oh, I guess we needed that break because now I'm excited for WandaVision. Like it took a while, but now I'm excited for it."
That's the only thing that COVID, I think, helped was Marvel, because I honestly, like you even mentioned Black Widow, and I'm still feeling I'm not as much as I was like at the beginning of all this, but like I'm still feeling the Marvel fatigue. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, I'm kind of good. Like I don't need to see anything for a while, because it was such a good 10-year story that they told that was beautiful, and I loved it, or 11-year story or whatever over all those movies. And they did a lot, man, and they killed off a lot.
I mean, yeah, within the movie franchise, they did a ton. Then what they did outside with all the Netflix shows, which were phenomenal, except for that one terrible character. But even he was good in The Defenders. So we'll give that. Yeah, put it down. Put it down, Danny Rand. But that was we kind of hit that point with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. also just being that companion piece to the entire cinematic universe. So after a while, it's like, yeah, that was hyped and awesome. And now I got to take a break. You're right. After 10 years of getting a beautiful story and fantastic tales and the death of Iron Man, which if you haven't seen it, and that's a spoiler to you, what are you doing watching this show? But anyway.
But keep watching.
Yeah, but don't go anywhere. But just stay here.
Talk about other stuff.
No to me, Vern.
So for me, like, I'm glad Marvel will come back, and I'll be into what they put out, because I got a break.
Yeah,
because it wasn't 4 movies in a year that you have to watch to know what's going on. I think I just needed a break. I was tired. I was like, you've emotionally knocked me out, because not only did you just put out Endgame, and emotionally I've just been walloped, but then you put out Spider-Man 2, and you're like, that whole movie is just emotion filled. Then on top of that, after Spider-Man 2, you get the whole saga of Marvel and Sony not working together with Spider-Man anymore, and that screws with you, because you're just like, come on. I mean, like, we just lost Iron Man. We just lost Captain America. I mean, Thor is not too far behind. They've already said that Jane Foster is going to take over for Thor. So where's he going to go? So I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm just like, okay, I need a break.
But it is nice that we get a break. We got this time away, which was much needed. Even lovers need a holiday. Chicago, right? So it was nice to have that. And we're going to get the same thing with Star Wars, because at least we only have The Mandalorian, which is freaking awesome. Still nothing negative about The Mandalorian. So we can keep riding that train for a while, although this whole Pedro Pascal potentially leaving because he's not going to take his helmet off. And I don't know if that's the studio giving grief or is he giving grief. Makes me sad.
He wants to take his helmet off?
Apparently, yeah. And he was battling, like there was some hubbub going because he didn't want to return to set without being able to take his helmet off to show his face more.
Oh.
which would just be nightmare fuel because he's awesome. I'm tired of these guys getting upset over this stuff. It's like, come on, you're a Mandalorian armor. It's awesome,
and we know who you are. Like
I just go to Narcos or Kingsman or one of your other incredibly famous things you're doing.
He was in Blood-Sucking Bastards, right?
Was he really?
Yeah, he played the boss. He played the vampire boss.
I don't remember that. I'm going to have to double check. I don't think I ever finished Blood-Sucking Bastards. I'm going to fall asleep to that one.
I love that movie. So for me, Mandalorian, I just watched first episode because I'm watching it with my 8-year-old, and I just wanted, it takes time with an 8-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
Always doing something.
Same with River. Yeah, we just started. We're only on episode 2 of season 1. I get it.
So I watched the first episode, and it was fun. Timothy Olyphant was great. I thought working with the Sand People was fun. You're on Tatooine. You get Boba Fett's armor. Boba Fett's coming back. I'm in, man.
I mean, Timothy Olyphant standing in that doorway, just his slim outline as this Western Marshal. I'm like, yeah, of course it is. Of freaking course, it's justified. This is what would happen. There's.
Oh my God, it worked. I thought at the end there he was going to let him keep the armor.
That would have been a fun twist. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because he's not really a Mandalorian.
I was a little more blown by the fact that he was so good at being able to fly with the jetpack and also be able to use the rocket missile. So I was like, are you sure he's not jerking my chain and he's not Boba Fett? And then, obviously at the end, they show the robed Boba Fett actually walking away. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, man.
Well, I like how they're keeping up with the, just throughout the whole thing. Like
still the clones, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it works. And he's the right age, too, which works out well.
Oh, man, it's perfect. He turned around and I was like, oh, yeah, they're exactly.
Because any other clone that's still alive after everything is old as hell.
Well, because the other clones, remember, were also given that serum, so they were aged faster.
Yeah.
So it's not like they were long for this world or galaxy, whatever. Anyway, universe. So, yeah, pretty wild that they played it that way, and it's worked out the way it did.
I'm excited, man. This show stands up. It's a great Western. Mm-hmm. I love that they're sticking with the Western motif. They're just doing a fantastic job with it.
Yeah. I mean, even the idea of working with the Sand People, the idea of working with the natives sort of thing. The townsfolk have to get together with the natives and deal and, work towards a common goal. It's like, wow, this could not be more like Wagon Train, Bonanza. Which one do you want? Just pull it.
Well, and for me too, like if you look at it, it's as we're talking about franchises and taking breaks and stuff like that, it's the right amount. It's the right amount of Star Wars I need right now.
Correct. Yep.
I don't need an over amount. Do another show, that's fine, but that show can come out in May. Mm-hmm. And then never the two shall meet. Or whatever, right. However you want to do it.
Well, it's great because we have you have this Western with characters you already know and love in a universe you're aware of, but it's a completely different, much smaller scale story. So it's cool.
Oh, absolutely. I do want to talk about, before we go, because it's new news, another franchise that is amping up, and the news broke yesterday. Mr. Gerard Butler is back again as, Secret Service agent Mike Banner, I think. I think it's Mike Banner is his name in the movie.
Good old Mike Banner.
I hope
Don't you love that?
He is back again for a 4th installment of the Fallen movies, and it's going to be called Night Has Fallen. So, of course, everybody has fallen. Mike Banning. I'm sorry.
How many more times is he going to fall? Is this one just down the stairs? Is that what happens? It's nighttime and Morgan Freeman's president, and he has to protect him from falling down the stairs?
Well, here's what they did in the third one that bothered me, because I like them. I like them.
Made it,
yeah. No, I like Gerard Butler as a action guy.
Agreed.
I think he works well. And this, out of all of the action, like Gamer sucked. He did some other stuff that kind of sucked.
I loved P.S. I Love You. Serious action movie. He was moaning.
That's one of my wife's favorite movies, and she always puts it on, and I'm always like, why? There's like 4 TVs in this house, and I'm still kind of like, all right, I'll just sit here and watch it.
Because it's great.
Yeah, it's not a terrible movie, but
Right?
You watch it more than once, and it's kind of like, all right. Although Sweet Home Alabama, I can watch all day long. We should have like a romantic comedy.
Hello, The Notebook. Come on, let's fire off.
That's too easy.
A Walk to Remember?
No, that's dumb too.
No, we can get into it because I like Get Over It. Do you remember that era of comedies, the 2000s?
Oh yeah,
10 Things I Hate About You. Come on.
Oh God, that was 90s. So going back to it though, he is doing Night Has Fallen, and he is back as Mike Banning again. I don't know where they're going to take him because the first one, he's protecting the president from the White House being taken over. From I think it was Korea, North Korea was.
Yeah, I think so.
House. Then the next one, I forget what it was. It was some kind of terrorist trying to take all of because there was some summit with all of the leaders, not ambassadors, but leaders of all these countries were in London. So they took over London, and he had to save London. The Secret Service agent had to save London, and I believe it.
The Scottish Secret Service agent.
Scottish, you got a good American accent. Then I'll give it to him. And then you have the third one where they Taken 3'd it, and everyone's after him because now he's protecting who is now the president, was the vice president Morgan Freeman, who gets there's an assassination attempt, and they pin it on Mike Banning, and he has to clear his name. So they shootered it. That's what I call every time there's like. That I realize there's lots of movies that are like this, but Shooter I think did it the most outlandish.
How so outlandish?
Because it was just ridiculous. So it's like you just got this redneck dude who's a sharpshooter, and you're just like, I'm gonna pin it all on him, and it's like,
oh, you mean the entire premise of the movie? Okay, then I agree. That
yeah,
it's a Mark Wahlberg doing shooting guns. I'm shooting guns over here.
Oh my God. Hey, gun. How you doing?
Hey, look at this gun. What's up? You want a Wahlburger?
You want a Wahlburger? Oh my God. Oh, poor Mark Wahlberg, who's Catholic, and it comes around full circle.
I love Mark Wahlberg, and of course he should be the one doing these, not Gerard Butler.
Mark Wahlberg, I have now officially gotten to a point where it should either be, and it's not because he can't do anything else. He can. He was great in was it Winter's Bone?
Transformers?
No, shut up. That's another franchise. I'm good. Just take it away. I'm good.
Yeah, seriously, done with it. Bumblebee was honestly one of the better ones that came out, and I'm done. Yeah, I'm good.
But, I mean, if you keep making them, you make them for my kids, and stop trying to push them for me.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do Mark Wahlberg, take him out of the dramas, and that's just, all right, stick to your action movies, which are outlandish and ridiculous.
And the other guys, Ted, like he's such a good comedic, he's got great comedic timing.
Daddy's Home. I will watch, I don't care what anybody says about those movies. The Other Guys is great. And so is the Daddy's Home and Daddy's Home 2. Put him with Will Ferrell. Let them do like 10 movies together. Anybody who says those movies are bad are stupid people.
I think that's the franchise we need, not the one we know we want.
All right, listen here to Liam Neeson. Wait, did Liam Neeson say that?
No, I think it was Gary Oldman.
I haven't slept yet. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Well, my friend, it looks like we've probably approached a time where you need to get some rest, honey bear.
I do. I have 3 shows tomorrow.
Oh, brutal, bro.
But I want to thank you for coming on the show, man.
Hey,
to have you. Anytime
thank you for having me.
Of course, man. Anytime you want to be on, you just let me know. And this has been our show, everybody. So make sure that you're paying attention. Okay, make sure you're watching.
Or have us on while you're doing laundry. That's cool too.
I'm getting threatening when I'm tired. Like, what's up now?
You better be watching it. You're not watching us? Why aren't you watching us, huh? What's your problem?
We turn into Mark Wahlberg.
What's up?
Say hi to your mother for me.
You go full Donnie. I'll go full Mark. We got this. Yo.
So this is, of course, the Scene Snobs podcast. We are live every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock. So thank you for joining us. Make sure that you're heading over to thescenesnobs.com. That's where our whole slate of shows are. We have more shows coming on. We have a brand new show, a horror-based show premiering next week, which we will start promoting at the end of this week. Make sure you're joining mutantfan.com, which is close collaborators with us. They have Mutant Palooza this Friday night. It's 13 movies over 12 hours, I think. And it's just going to be an exciting, fun time. All independent filmmakers, so it's going to be really cool. Go check them out. Also, we have tomorrow Behind the Box podcast. We also have Rob Paints the Movies on Thursday night, both at 7:30 p.m. live. The podcasts, always remember the podcast versions always come out after the show is over, so go check those out if you'd rather give it a listen. 9 a.m. Thursday morning, we'll be broadcasting the new episode of the Sports Snobs, which has just been a really fun show to work on with Kaz and Pat. And then they have their NFL Picks show that comes out on, the half-hour version where they talk about the NFL picks for the weekends on Saturday mornings. Other than that, I'm going to be joined in Mutant Palooza this weekend, so I will not be doing a showcase, but I will talk to you guys soon. I am very tired. I'm very tired. And I probably shouldn't be talking about this on my podcast, but I'm going to.
Keep rambling.
Yeah, no. But I just want to thank my special guest co-host tonight, Mr. Casey Plott. It's always fun having you on, man, talking to you, so please come on anytime you want. Hopefully, you will be able to join me for the all-night Thanksgiving. Friendsgiving.
Absolutely. I'm hoping for it. Just want to give a quick shout out. This is November 10th. Happy birthday, Marines. And thank you, everyone, for your service on the 11th. I appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. Yourself included. You're a veteran. So thank you, guys. Appreciate that. That was a great sentiment. Thank you all, veterans. Happy birthday, Marines. And we will talk to you later.